right, today we have a worksheet called Caroline Blue's Credit Report Worksheet. And to go along with it, you have a copy of Caroline Blue's Credit Report attached on Google Classroom for your reference to answer these questions. So, first, I want to just take you on a little tour of Caroline's credit report and show you probably where you're going to find most of the answers for these questions. This is through Flexperian, which is just a made up agency, but we're going to pretend that this is like one of the three credit reporting agencies. And the first thing that is listed here is the potentially negative items. Doesn't mean that they are pulling your credit down a ton, but they might be. So if you were looking at this credit report for yourself, you'd want to definitely look at those items and fix any problems that you can see right away. But chances are they've already done some damage and you're going to have to live it out for another 7 to 10 years. So looking first at public records, it says here, credit lenders may carefully review the listed items below when they check your credit history. Note that the account information with some public records, such as lien or judgment, may also appear later in this report. So the first thing is on there is from the Maine County Clerk, and this is saying that there was a civil claim paid. Doesn't give any more information about it, at least at this point, but probably that means that you did not pay somebody something that you owed and they took you to court about it and you paid. So because you didn't pay, now that's affecting your financial history. And it means to a potential lender that you might not be a responsible person with money. Moving down, we have Searmore's, and you can see right here it says type revolving. So this is probably a credit card or a line of credit with a store. So the status right here is a big clue. It is an open account. You still have this credit card, but it is past due 60 days. If it says past due at all, it's a negative to your credit score and to on your credit report. But the longer it goes, the worse it gets. Another thing you can see about this one is that your credit limit is $3,000 and you currently have $3,300 charged on that account. So you have maxed out this credit card. Caroline, we're going to call you Caroline for now. And that is also a negative on an account. Next, we have City Visa. Again, right here it says revolving, so we know this is probably a credit card. And the status here is that it's paid and past due, but past due 30 days. So it is something that you've closed or you've paid off, but it is you left it. Well, I guess you did pay something 30 days late at some point. And then they're giving you a little bit more details on that. Another thing to look at here, credit limit is $2,500. Caroline has $1,500 at one point recently charged onto that account, and that is kind of a high percentage. You want to maintain a lot more available credit on your credit cards. Next, we have the BOR, and it's a revolving credit again. This is open but past due 30 days. Next, we have the DOC, another credit card, open but past due. So it hasn't gotten to past due 30 days yet, but it is past due. So still already hurting your credit. Now we move into the accounts in good standing. So first we have the Superior Auto Loan. Right here it says it's open and you have never been late on this one. So that's good. And that's really all we need to know about it. Then we have Shop Till You Drop. This is closed. Down here it says that it was closed at the consumer's request and that you were never late on a payment. So that's another good thing. Convenient credit card, another revolving credit, so it's another credit card, and it says open and never late. So as long as you have a bunch of credit cards, if you were never late on payments and you don't maintain a high balance, they can be good for you, but there's really no reason to get more than one or two credit cards. So just having multiples can hurt your credit by itself. Then we move into the credit history inquiries, meaning anybody who has pulled your credit to look at it for any reason is going to be listed on here, anything in the last 2 years. So this first section says, we make your credit history available to current and prospective lenders and employers as allowed by law. In addition, your personal information or your personal data may be available to companies whose products or services may interest you. The section below lists all who have requested in the recent past to review your credit history as a result of actions involving you, such as the completion of a credit application or the transfer of an account to a collection agency, application for insurance, mortgage, or loan application, etc. Lenders may view these requests when evaluating your creditworthiness. So if you apply for a loan or you sign up for insurance, other people may see that activity and decide to pull your credit as well and see what's going on. So these are not something that you initiated, really. So it lists 3, Terramore or Tarmore, See and Save, and Wally World. Then we have inquiries viewed only by you. And this is like legitimate reasons that maybe you even initiated, maybe not. So it says the section below lists all who have a permissible purpose by law and have requested in the recent past to review your information. You may not have initiated these requests, so you may not recognize each source. We offer information about you to those with permissible purpose, for example, to other creditors who want to offer you a pre-approved credit, an employer who wishes to extend an offer of employment, a potential investor in assessing the risk of a current obligation, credit reporting agencies to process a report at your request, or your existing creditors to monitor your credit activity. So that's all it really says. Most of the time, this is definitely not hurting your credit. But there are instances where you'll have a lot of inquiries, or if you've been shopping around for credit continually, especially if you have bad credit already, it can lower your score. And then we have the personal information, all of your personal information there. I don't think any of that is on the worksheet. And then your personal statement. So if you had something to say that you wanted on your permanent record, you wanted any potential reviewers of your credit report to see, such as something that was incorrect that you were not able to actually fix, you could write it and have it showed up right there. So going back to the worksheet, Caroline is seeking a loan to purchase a new vehicle. Analyze Caroline's credit report and answer the following questions to determine if Caroline should receive the loan. So you are in the seat of the lender at the bank in this case, and you're going to see what's on Caroline's credit report and support your reasoning for giving her the loan or not giving her a loan. So first we have 4 items on her credit report that suggest she is a high-risk borrower. So that could be something that was listed in that potentially negative section, or it could be something else that you've seen as we went through that. Second, provide an example of a closed-end credit account that Caroline has. Most of the ones that I pointed out were actually revolving credit. So let's look for one that's, here we go. Installment is the same as closed-end credit. So that's a loan. And I believe that was the only one on there, the Superior Auto Loan. Okay. So example of closed-end credit that she has, and then an example of open-end credit account that she has, which is all the rest of them. What has Caroline's payment history been like? So what can you deduce about how well she makes her payments based on the status of all of those different types of credit cards that she has open? So you're going to come up with a great answer for that one. Number 5, for which account does Caroline have a cosigner? And I did not mention this whenever we were looking at it, but right here in the responsibility section, you can see if it's just the individual, meaning Caroline, who is responsible for it, or in this case, it says cosigner. And you are going to answer, what impact is that account having on the cosigner's credit history? So specifically looking at Shop Till You Drop, this is a closed account and she was never late. So it's kind of neutral in this instance. But if she had been late on a payment, how would that impact the cosigner's credit? is what you're looking for. Number 6, does Caroline have any closed accounts? And how long does a closed account stay on a person's credit report? So you can find the closed accounts by looking at the status on each of the accounts. And to go back to our notes from this unit, here is a summary of how long different things stay on your credit report. So right here, 10 years, closed accounts that are in good standing. All right, next we have what types of inquiries are on Caroline's credit report. Who has pulled her credit, and what can you tell about it? And it says, how are those inquiries impacting her credit score? And going back to our note taking from this unit, here is the potentially negative ways that inquiries can impact her score, or things that don't typically have any impact. So looking at all the inquiries, is there anything that would fall under this potentially negative section? And that's all it asks. Okay. And then the not the final question, number 8, would you lend money to her for her new vehicle? And support your answer with 2 reasons. So that's going to be your own personal answer, but probably everybody's going to say about the same thing. And then 9, list 3 pieces of advice you would give Caroline. How can she, from this point forward, improve her credit? And that is everything.